So in today's session, we have our gracious and worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Aurang Zeb Khan. I don't need to give his introduction because he's here to tell his life story through his own lips. So please welcome him with your It's a Q&A session. It means questions and answers. So since I have this mic with me, my first question from our Vice Chancellor will be, sir, thank you very much for giving us this time, and you will be sharing some information about yourself. Could you please tell us about your background and your education?
As we are here at ULM right now, and I always encourage my students to go Google me, so I'm everywhere. I think that will be the best of my introductions. So I encourage my students to just go and Google it. I'm everywhere.
Yes, tell us that part which is not on Google.
Yeah. The story is very, in brief, it is, I got all my education from the local schools as well as local college, and later on went to Peshawar University for the so-called higher education. So got my physics MSc, and the good thing started over there technically. I got my MSc with a gold medal and then moved to America for my PhD. Got the assistantship from America through the GRE and TOEFL programs, and then later on got 4 years of postdocs, and also got an opportunity to work as an assistant professor in 2 different universities for a little period. But I was sort of in and out from America because I had a job at Peshawar University. I was a lecturer there since 1995 there. So it was sort of a job which was always compelling me to not get settled there in America. And thanks goodness, yeah, it's one of the good things that happened. So I also got some opportunities at the Middle Eastern universities, served for 4 years, and then moved to Abdul Khan University since 2015. I'm affiliated with Abdul Khan University, and in the process, I got a VC-ship position here, where we are in the making of this great institution.
Actually, sir, it's not really easy for a child living in a small village. The way you told us, you have gone through, obviously you have gone through many challenges. This morning, actually, I was telling to my student that it's not easy. The journey is actually not easy for a child from a mediocre kind of family, like you are now serving as a Vice Chancellor. So could you please tell us the challenges you faced throughout your career?
Listen, my challenges are not unique to tell them in general. But the thing is, these are the challenges almost every commoner is facing in this country. It's a third world country, and when you are a middle or lower middle class person, you are facing all sort of challenges and problems. The one thing I think I should add to your question is, how can you become successful when going through the very local schooling and etc. The one thing which I have learned, and I think that is the success part, is consistency. You aim for something and you stick to it, and don't get distracted. You just stick to it, focus on it, move on slowly. Eventually you reach to a point. So as a professor, I usually tell these stories to my students that, okay, learn few things, think big. Always think big. When I interact with my students, what you want to become in later part of your life or as a professional, So they say, oh, PTC teacher. I say, okay, if your aim is PTC teacher, congratulations. If you are a girl, for instance, say, okay, I want to become Benazir Bhutto, want to become Madam Curie, want to become Azra, something bigger. If you want to do physics PhD, for instance, you say, okay, I want to become Einstein, I want to become Newton, I want to become somebody great. So that is basically the message for all the students. That number one thing, you have to believe in yourself. All these great people, whatever you call greatness, it doesn't matter. But whether you want to become Bill Gates, whether you want to become a politician or vice chancellor or whatever, at least think big, then go for it. So in the process, when there are small offers, you can always avail them, but sometimes don't avail them.
Thank you, sir, for the elaborate answer. Sir, as you talked and told us about the how to establish and set goals, that's what we call teleology in social sciences. You told us the way how to set goals, and then you also told us about the praxis. The praxis we mean how to get to the goal. So this is a nice answer, and I think it's very elaborate. Sir, I would like to ask you about your experiences. Please reflect on your experiences of facing those administrative hurdles while starting your career as a lecturer here in Pakistan, sir, then moving to United States of America, joining a teaching job there, university, and also you told about your experiences in the Middle East. So how would you compare the hurdles that you faced, and what is the systematic difference?
I told you, I mean, what hurdles you are going through, I faced it already. It's a third world. There are problems. There's a bad system in the third world. Just remember, as a person of eminence, I see these things over the years, and these days in particular, when the internet is there and information is there at the fingertip, the students and the faculty and those people who have an access to internet, they get frustrated with the passage of time that, okay, there's a world which is very good and things are going in a good way, and here we are terrible people, etc., etc. We belong to a third world country. It's full of problems, and that is why we are third world, because we have a bad system. And we are not just third world because of something. If you see all the things, all the material stuff which are there in America, for instance, they are also in Pakistan. The only thing is non-functional, or it is under a bad system. And there you go, the university role comes. We need to work on the minds of people in order to make a good system. Now, with the passage of time as a dean and nowadays as a vice chancellor, what I have seen, even if we want to copy anything from any part of the world, how hard it is to copy it. For instance, when we were copying the semester rules, I tell you this small anecdotal story. For this university, we had no semester rules. So when I came from Abdul Khan University, I was the author of those rules. So I gave a copy to a team here to replace just the name of Abdul Khan University with ULM, with University of Lebanon. They did it. Thanks to the QVC people when they came from Peshawar, they say the rules are very good, but vice chancellor definition is terrible here. Vice chancellor means vice chancellor of the University of Abdul Khan University, Mardan. So he couldn't change it. Similarly, and that's what I have seen, even in every part when we are copying systems from other countries or other places, it is even a difficult job. So now just think, when you are creating your own, how difficult that will be. We are far away from that era. And I think we need to train the minds of these people. As a teacher, this should be our responsibility to work on the students. And when in the beginning, when I when I came here and I inquired about the graduate students and their seriousness, so I saw a number which bothered me for the reasons that there should be seriousness. Now, the students may have a lot of complaints, a lot of problems. It's a new university in the making. They will say we don't have a place to sit, agreed. A desk to sit, also agreed, etc., etc. But in the process, we still have a good lawn to sit. We still have even internet coming in the lawn, and if it's not coming, it's the responsibility of the teachers here or the HODs to provide it, because we are open to it. At least we can bring internet to it. If we are asking for the chairs, it takes a bit time because it's going through the process. But when it comes to the other stuff, some we can quickly arrange. And sooner you will be getting your own buildings. When you move, then you will have full facilities. We can't create a lot of facilities. But still, from the Lekki point of view, if you go to the schools and colleges in Lekki Marwat, you won't see a lot of facilities which are right now exist. So I think we should stop complaining normally, but rather working towards how to make it and how to overcome hurdles, how to make it work. So those sort of mentalities are much needed. Problems, I have been through tons of problems, and you people will be no exceptions. You guys will be also facing, but I think you people will be facing little problems compared to our generations, because there are now some good people who are trying to facilitate you. So little facilitation occurred, the rest, the bad system is still there. One day when the bad system is removed, you will see we will be as prosperous and as developed as the developed nations.
Thank you so much, sir. You're a very good academician, scientist, researcher. I would definitely ask a question regarding science and research, but before that, you are the Vice Chancellor of University of Lekki Marwat. Your role is very important, and you used to set 10 different meetings regarding our education system. So as a Chancellor, what problems do you see in overall education system, in our education system, and what are your suggestions to overcome all those problems?
I love chemistry for a few reasons, and one of them is the litmus test. I learned in matriculations, and they have some magic sort of test. When they do the testing, they quickly get the result. They call it the litmus test. The failure of education, our education system, the litmus test is that the medium of instruction is English. It's good, it's not the failure. But look at the things, what happens. By the end of the 16 years of education or 18 years of education, one expects that the guy should be an expert in the field. But he or she doesn't know the medium of instruction. How could she or he learn through the medium, to that particular medium? So this is the litmus test. If you have not learned English, how can you learn other stuff which you learn through English? For instance, if I work with you, I don't know Japanese, and I'm teaching you some courses in Japanese, and you also don't know. You just tell me, would you ever learn that sort of education? You will neither learn Japanese nor physics or chemistry or other stuff. So this is our biggest challenge and problem, and I think I asked Dr. Azra and other associates to work on such problems. We are open to facilitate. There are good models in the world. There are very good countries. Just go to Germany, France, Japan, some other countries, South Africa. They don't teach their children in English, but later on they are very good in English, and also they are good in their sciences. If you don't comprehend the way you comprehend your own mother tongue, the پښتو کې چې موږ خبرې کوو ډېر خوند راکوي که نه؟ ایله پرې پوه شو، داسې هذاك تسنن ذا هو تقول خانية فيشو تدش ذا ساينس ندرزي تعليم ذا موراني جيبي بشان ندرزي تعليم ندي. So as of today, the whole country is not doing. There are exceptions, exceptions success stories. That is okay, but to the most part, it is Lalo and Pato. We are mocking education, and soon, inshallah, one day, when we realize, and I think ULM will take the lead, our education department will open up few projects where we will go for true education. We will try to introduce new ways and new methods, and I hope the students will learn enough English that they will be able to get education through it. So this is one part that's the failure, and there are many other challenges and stuff.